I'll never get tired of telling people how amazing Dad was. I know he felt like his past reduced the man he was, but I think it just went to prove how amazing he had become in spite of his circumstances. As I see it, he started out as unvalued and unwanted by many, but in the end, he valued and wanted the company of everybody he met. He was endlessly generous with his time and treasure. I want to be a person who values people and makes them feel wanted and is super generous, just like my dad was. He liked to laugh about his education, but as I see it, he was the model of intelligence. He taught us to value knowledge, to seek information, and to evolve into brighter and more capable people than we're expected to become. I want to be a person who is smarter because I work hard at learning, just like Dad. Our life has been filled with adventure because of his wild confidence and resourcefulness. From moving out west and back to building homes and TVs and starting businesses, the list goes on and on. It's been such an inspiration to me to live a more full life. I want to be adventurous, daring, and bold, just like Dad. There are two people in this world that I'll never work as hard as, Mom and Dad. He never backed down from a challenge. I learned fake it till you make it from the best, but he didn't really fake it. He just learned it and mastered it most of the time. Not just because he loved all the variety, but he was super committed to providing for us. I heard someone say that the biggest dream of a parent is for their kids to have a better life than them in some way, and I know that he's worked so hard for that for so long. I want to be a person who works his butt off to provide for my family and give my kids a great life, just like my dad did. We get compliments all the time on how our boys turned out. People always ask, how did you know what to do at 22 years old? We didn't. They ask us for tips and advice. Kelly and I are constantly telling people, learn from your parents, emulate the best of them, and avoid the worst of them. We've spent the last 20 years trying to emulate my parents. In reality, they raised our boys as much as we did. They've spent more time with their grandkids than any grandparent in this situation I've ever heard of. He came to every game and school function. He spent time with them daily, either on the floor with them as toddlers or at sports as teens. He sacrificed so much for Melanie and I over the years, and then they opened their homes to Kelly and Craig as their own kids. If I had to sum up his parenting and grandparenting down to one thing, I would say it's encouragement. He encouraged us through his sacrifices, his time spent on the passions that we had, his wisdom, his words. I know the boys have grown up very self-confident because of how much he lifted them up. I've seen some people in movies wonder if their dad was proud of them, and I've never had to wonder that. Even at 42 years old, his pride in me is more valuable than you can believe. I want to be an amazing father, just like my dad was. Throughout the years, Mom and Dad have stood by each other through the fun, adventurous times and the hard, slow times. The marriage is one we can learn so much from. Dad was willing to do anything and go anywhere if it was important to one of us or a passion of Mom, even if he wasn't totally bought into it. But mostly, they valued each other through the long, crazy, winding roads of life. I want to be a dedicated husband who values his wife just like my dad did. Friendships are hard, but he has tons of them that span decades, and he just keeps adding on. I don't know what his secret is, but I envy it. I will be happy to have 25% of the people show up at my funeral as due to his. I try to connect with people, be caring and generous and loving, but they don't stick like his. I don't think it's something I could do. I think it's just who he was. I'm looking forward to the parade of friends that I get to talk to at his memorial services. I want to be someone who's surrounded by caring friends just like my dad was. It's funny, I remember a lot of things, but the things that just pop into my head when I think back over the last 42 years are somewhat mundane little details. I don't know why they stick like they do. They're the real-life moments that define something bigger. Or they just help me keep my feet grounded in the monotony of a life well lived. I remember going to the batting cages, to the Teneglia parties on Saturdays, changing tires, mixing mortar and concrete, arguing about cutting the grass, going to the corner store to get salami sandwiches, or driving around the neighborhood with all the doors open in his van to dry it out. They're the big epic memories too. Building a TV together, driving through Death Valley and then pulling over at a scenic overlook to have a picnic, climbing around the rafters to run wiring in a house we were building, rebuilding the interior of a limousine, taking my first drive to college, shaking his hand after getting married, handing him my babies for the first time, showing him around my new homes, or telling him just about some success at my business. I guess a few of those last ones just go back to me wanting to make him proud. This all makes him sound perfect, but I know he wasn't. But it gives me hope that as imperfect as I am, I can try to do as well as he did. This all leads up to one thing I wanted him to do more than anything. I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss laughing with him and golfing with him, asking his advice, seeing him love on the kids, hearing him brag on the kids, listening to his outrageous stories, teasing him, and learning from him. I'm going to miss his wisdom and advice. I'm going to miss his laugh, his sense of humor, and his wit. I'm going to miss his encouragement. I'm going to miss my dad. I love him so much.